Welcome to Rome. We're going to show you a turn of Gangs of Rome 2. First up, here is our game set up ready to go. We have 4 gang fighters on each side and 3 mob bases. You may notice that the terrain has been set up in a way to allow the mobs to move freely. This is because now it blocks their movement. The green tokens are objectives which both sides are trying to capture. So, without further ado, let's fast forward to turn 2. So, turn 2 starts with, for the blue team, we have 2 fighters both blended with mobs, in different mobs. We have one fighter who has run and climbed and is on top of the scaffold, in between both objectives, and there's the other fighter at the bottom of the scaffold ready to climb. For the red team, we have one fighter has blended. One of the fighters is up on the scaffolding, so we're facing down ready at the beginning of turn 2. Let's see who gets the actual drop on the other one with the draw. One has climbed, failed to move across, but is up there ready on the higher ground. And the last fighter is down there deciding on where to go. Okay, so the beginning of turn 2. It's time to draw. Oh, lovely, silver for me. Okay, so I've got the initiative here, and it's my turn first to activate one of my fighters. I think the obvious choice for me is to activate Ulpia here at the top to see if I can charge in and throw my opponent's fighter off the scaffold. So I have up to 4 actions I can do in my activation. I'm going to move and close the distance into base-to-base contact. So that will be my first move. So we're going to move in. I'm then going to throw, and I'm confident that I'm going to throw her with the first throw and win the combat. And then after that, I'm going to move to here. And because Ulpia's got agility 7, I'm going to try and pick up the objective and use my last objective marker here to try and pick up the objective. Okay, so 4 actions in this activation. She has agility 7, so I roll 7 dice. And what I'm looking for is, I want 4s, 5s or 6s. So anything with a V on is a pass. And to be able to pull off this action stack, this stack of actions, I need 4 successes. Oh, and she does it. There we go. So, in theory, I can carry out all of those activations. So, to start with, Ulpia moves for the first one. So she moves into base-to-base contact. And at this point, we wrestle. So we're going to have a grapple attack. So I'm going to try and throw her opponent off the scaffolding. So Ulpia has an attack value of 6. So she is rolling 6 dice. And again, we want 4s or more as successes. And what I'm trying to do is score more than my opponent. So, I'm claiming that. So there we go. So we've got 4 successes.
So my fighter has a defense of 4, so I'm trying to roll more successes than Andy to save this throw. And I have scored 1 success. So with a difference of 3, that means I am thrown 3 inches.
Brilliant. So I'm going to just throw George's fighter off the scaffolding backwards. So off she goes. So the fall is how far, George?
So she has fallen 3 inches.
So she takes 3 damage. And because I've won that combat, that's a success as well. So I can continue. So my third is a move in a straight line, because all movements have to be in a straight line, to here. And for the 4th success, I'm going to pick up the objective. So that was such a good move, turn there really for Ulpia. For her activation, she's managed to move in, throw her opponent, move over to the objective and pick it up all in one action stack. So you can't see me, but I'm smiling broadly at the moment. Time to draw. So George just drew last time, so now it's my turn to draw. And we get, oh, a red. Okay. So this is new. So with a red token indicates that I can activate one of the mob. So what I will do is I will put it on this mob here and I will roll 1 dice to see if I can change their state. 3. So it doesn't. So they stay passive. And that's my go over.
So the next draw is red, which is another mob. And what we're going to do is activate this mob down here, but this time, rather than try and change the state, we're just going to move them. So I get to choose which direction I want to move them, but they move a distance rolled on a d6. So that's a 4. And I'm going to move them 4 inches this way.
And this is different, isn't it, to Gangs of Rome 1, George?
Yes, before the mob's activated in between turns and moved in random directions. Now they are controlled by the player that drew their token, so they've got a bit more influence.
So the player can use them as part of their plan, is what
Yep.
we're saying. Brilliant. Yep. Okay. So George just took the draw, so it's my turn to draw now. And that's important why we're passing the bag, because if you draw the mob, you activate it. Otherwise, it depends on what token you draw. Another silver one for me, which is good. So I'm liking this so far. So I currently have 2 gang fighters blended with the mob. I'm going to activate number 3 for me, which is Helvia. And Helvia at the moment is going to pop out of the mob over here, which is what we need to do. Okay, so that takes an action, but you don't have to roll a success for it to work. It automatically works. Exiting a mob. So she's going to pop out the mob. She's then, Helvia's got an agility of 5. So on a safe bet, she's probably going to do 2 or 3 actions. So I am just going to pop out and then I'm going to, she's on with a sling. So Helvia is then going to fire at the closest member there. So let's see what we got. So agility 5, so 5 dice this time to see if my actions work. I need to get 2 successes because I'm only trying to do 2 things. And I do. Ooh, it's good that I only chose to do 2 because she failed the other 3. So Helvia successfully pops out of here, of the mob, for her first action. And then she is going to sling. That's correct. So sling is a long range attack, so the attack is still the same. Roll dice. Luckily, Helvia has an attack value of 7, so I think you're going to get hurt here, George.
Yeah, most likely.
So she rolls 7 dice. And again, 4 5s or 6s are successes. Oh, so only 3. So I've got 3 successful hits.
Again, my fighter has got a defense of 4 because it's the same one. So I roll that and I score 4 defense, which successfully stops all attacks.
It does. And if I was going to shoot again, then I would have ended my go because you will have actually stopped me, wouldn't you, George? Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. So, one last thing for sling. Have to see if my sling has broken or not. So I just roll 1 dice. If I get a 1, it has. No, 2. So it's still in the game. Okay.
So that's over to my draw. And we are going to draw the gold.
Well, about time, George.
Yep. So what we're going to do is, I think we're going to be a bit brave. We're going to activate this fighter up here. We are going to move to the corner of this ledge. Because these pieces are less than 1 inches, we can just move over them as
Okay.
normal. But then this is where the bravery comes in. We're going to leap
Wow.
over onto this scaffolding,
Like it?
and we're going to attempt to throw your fighter from the scaffolding.
Ouch. Okay.
So I've got an agility of 6. So let's see how many successes we get. Once again, we need 4s for successes. And we've done 2 things. So fortunately we've managed to make the leap. So the first success moves me to this corner. And then the second success leaps across this gap. But as I've run out of successes, that's as far as my activation goes.
Ouch.
So my activation ends there.
So what happens because you failed one of your activations on your stack, George?
So now I will gain 1 stress. So any time you fail an activation, you'll gain a stress. What
Okay.
a stress does is the next time I have to make an agility roll with that fighter, I'll minus 1 dice for each stress I've got.
Okay.
So it makes actions more difficult the more stressed you are. The way to clear stress is to successfully complete every action in an action stack. So I'd be more inclined to do a 1 or 2 action stack to get rid of that stress.
Brilliant. Okay. I think you might be lucky because she's activated up there, my fighter, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay. Gold, George. It's you again.
Me again. Right, so unfortunately I can't activate the same fighter again. They can only activate once per turn. So what we're going to do this time is... What are we going to do? Let's try and get some revenge for this sling over here. So I'm going to activate this fighter. And we are going to move into base contact. And then we are going to do an attack. I'm just going to do 1. Just
Okay.
to keep it simple and hopefully pass everything this time.
And why has she got a red dice next to her, George?
Those are the wounds from the when you threw her from the
From the scaffolding.
from the
Okay.
scaffolding. Yes. So this fighter's only got an agility of 5. So let's see where we go. I've passed 2,
Okay, that's all you need, isn't
so
it?
that's all I need.
Brilliant.
So I'm going to move into base contact,
Okay.
and then we're going to have an attack. I'm not going to try and throw you. We're just going to go for a regular melee attack.
Ooh, ouch. Okay.
So I've got an attack value of 7.
Oh, this could hurt.
So I'm going to be rolling 7 attack dice. But I think you're going to be pretty safe because I've only scored 2 hits.
Oh, ouch. Okay, well, I've only got defense of 3, though, so I've only got 3 dice to roll. And I didn't save any of them. Oh, no.
So that deals 2 damage because the difference between my attack dice and your defense dice is 2.
Yeah, so I've got 2 wounds, so I get red dice
So that's
as well.
going to put 2 wounds on there. Just to point out, if you had have saved 1 or 2 of them, you would have been able to attack me back and potentially cause more damage to me than I would to you.
But we're saying that 2 or more wounds really hurts,
Yeah.
so we're in too much shock to actually do anything back.
Yep.
Okay. Ouch.
So now we've had that combat,
Mhm.
that mob is going to react.
Is that because we're really close to them?
Within 6 inches, any combat within 6 inches of a mob will trigger a reaction.
Okay.
So if you'd like to roll a d6 and we'll see what they'll do.
I'm not sure I'd want to, but let's see what happens. Oh, 6!
So on a 5 or 6, the mob will become angry. They'll attack the closest fighter involved in the fight, and they'll remain in an angry state for the next activation.
So that's why I put the dice on, to just explain what state they are. So they are angry at the moment. So what happens now, George?
So now that mob is going to, because your fighter's the closest fighter,
Yep.
they're already in base contact, so they don't need to move. So they're now going to make an attack with 5 dice against your fighter.
So what you're saying is I'm getting it?
Yep.
Okay.
So we've got 3 hits.
Okay, do I get to defend?
So you get to defend as
Okay.
normal.
3 dice. I need 3 successes. What's the chances? 1. So I've saved with 1.
Yep. So that's a further 2 damage
Ouch.
to your fighter.
Okay, she's got 1 left. I think. Were we on
Yeah.
4? Oh, 2 left. Okay. Is it my draw? Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
It's your draw.
Okay. Gold, George. It's you again.
This time, I think I'm going to play it fairly safe. What we're going to do is exit this mob with this fighter. So they're going to exit the mob there.
Okay.
They are then going to move to the base of the scaffolding and climb to the top.
Okay.
So they have an agility of 7. So I think we'll push it one further and try and pick it up as well.
That's because exiting is free, isn't it? You automatically exit. You don't have to test. But it does cost an action.
It does cost an action in my action stack. But yes, a success doesn't need a success to act.
Okay.
Which is good because I've scored 3 successes. So
But the first one is free.
exit the mob is free.
Yeah, so that's 1.
And then I move to the base of the scaffolding.
Which is your first roll.
With the first,
Rolled success, yeah.
And then we're going to climb to the top
Okay.
and pick up the objective.
Brilliant. Okay, so if exiting the mob wasn't free, you wouldn't have been able to pick up the objective.
No, I would have just climbed to the top and then my activation would have ended.
Brilliant. Okay. You to draw, George. Objective each.
That's silver, so that's
Woohoo!
you.
My turn. Okay, so I'm going to activate Barker. He's one of my chaps here. He's at the bottom of some scaffolding. He last turn, on turn 1, failed one of his actions in his stack, so he's going to have a penalty on his roll this turn. So what Barker's going to do is he is going to climb to the top of the scaffolding here. He's then going to, I think he can get onto about there, I think. He's then going to move in a straight, have you got the ruler, George, so I can just check to make sure this is a straight line on the scaffolding. He's going to go for a straight line. What can Barker move? 6. So he's going to get charge into combat there, which is a move.
Yep.
So he's then going to move. And then he's going to have a go at fighting, I think. He's going to have one go at fighting you. Okay. So he's going to need 3 successes. Okay. He's got agility 6. So normally he would roll 6 dice, but because he has 1 stress, Barker, I'm only rolling 5 dice. So he's pushing it a bit here.
Yep.
Let's see if we can make it happen. So I need 3, 4, 5s or 6 or these. Oh, so he's managed it. So he climbs for 1, for his first one there. He then moves into base-to-base contact for the second one, which I know is 6 because I pre-measured. And now for the third success that he has here, he's going to fight. But what else happens, because he was successful in his activation stack, his action stack, I can remove his stress. So that's gone this turn as well. So I've got attack of 6, and I'm going to grapple. I'm going to try and throw you off into the mob below. Okay, so I got 6 dice. Let me just move these so we don't get anything confusion. Oh, I got 3 successes, George.
3 successes. Marcus has got defense of 4, so I'm going to roll 4 dice. Let's re-roll that
I'll
one.
let you roll that one, yeah.
So I've got 2 successes.
So I can throw you 1 inch. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, I think
That's probably going to be enough.
enough. Oh, just to clear. So I'm going to throw you off down here into the mob.
So into base contact with the mob.
Yep.
So what's going to happen now is I'm going to take damage for falling.
So it is 1, 2, 3. 3 inches.
So that's his damage.
Yep.
And because I've hit the mob, That's going to force a reaction from them.
Right.
They're not too pleased about getting pushed and shoved by me.
But they're in a calm state at the moment.
So they're currently in a calm state. So we're going to roll a d6 and see what their reaction
5 or
is.
6 is what we want.
It's a 6. So now that mob is going to attack me because they're not best pleased. So if you would like to roll an attack of 5.
I would like to roll an attack of 5 dice. See if I can finish you off. Come on, mob. Ooh, 4, George.
4. So my defense is 4, and I score 1.
1.
So I take another 3 damage.
Okay.
So I've got a vitality of 5.
So you take 6.
So I've taken 6 in total. So now my fighter is removed from play. That's finished him off.
Oh dear. So the mob have killed him.
The mob have killed him.
So with the mob killing him, what happens with that? They now stay angry, don't they?
So they're angry.
Yeah.
He gets removed from play.
Okay.
Because he was carrying an objective,
Oh,
that's now
even
dropped. And that was placed where he's removed from to be picked up by another gang fighter.
Brilliant. Okay, it's your draw.
So silver again.
Okay, so my last guy that I have is Rufus, and he's currently blended with the mob. So he has to come out this turn.
Yep.
Because he blends one turn, he comes out the next turn. Unfortunately for Rufus, 2 of the mob bases are currently angry. So he can't come out of an angry mob. So I can't come out and pop out and pick up the objective. So I've only got one choice. I have to come out of the mob that I'm currently in. Which is a shame, really, because I would like to have picked up the objective. So, very cross about this. Rufus is going to pop out of the mob here, I think. Sorry, just move that. And then he's going to charge, which is move. Take a movement. And then I'm going to attack you. Because he's just upset about the whole...
Are you just doing 1 attack, or are you
I
going
think
to try for 2?
I think I'm going to just go for 1 attack, because Rufus... Oh, no! Rufus has got agility of 7, so he's going to come in, he's going to exit the mob, he's going to attack you, move to you, and he's going to go stab, stab. He's going to go for 2 stab attacks. And because he's got agility 7, I'm feeling hopeful, George. So I'm rolling 7 dice with agility 7. And I'm looking for 3 successes, because the first one is free, because I'm exiting the mob. And I get 2. Oh, okay. So I get 2 successes. So I come out the mob for free, and then I go into base-to-base contact. Move for 1. So that takes up 1 of those. And then I have 1 left. So... Okay, so I get 1 attack. So Rufus has got an attack of 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dice. And he gets 4. So why didn't I roll that for my stack? That would have been better. So 4.
So I've got 4 defence, and I stopped 3.
Oh, okay. So I've caused 1 wound.
You've caused 1 wound.
So if I stick that dice next to you, I'll just clear these away.
So what that means is because I've only taken 1 wound, I'm able to attack you back.
Yep.
So if I'd taken 1 or if I'd have got some more, I'd get to attack back.
Okay.
So my fighter has an attack of 6.
Oh, come on, Rufus. Stay in the game.
So I'm going to roll that, and we've scored 4 hits.
Okay, I've got defense of 3, so I got 3 dice, so I'm going to get 1 damage at least. I saved 1.
Save 1. So your fighter takes 3 damage.
3 damage. So that's a lot of Rufus. Rufus is has a vitality of 5. He's now down to a vitality of 2 because he's taking 3 damage. Also, Rufus failed his last test on his action stack, so he gets 1 stress.
Yep. And also because he lost the combat, if he had have passed his last one, his activation would end as soon as he lost the combat, regardless of any further successes.
Yeah, because that's classed as a failure as well.
Yep.
Cool. Okay.
And it's your turn to draw.
Must be you to activate, because I've activated all mine, and it is. It's a gold one. I'm glad it is. There we go. Before you activate, George, we need to do a mob reaction. There's a mob really close to our combat there.
Yep.
So do you want to roll that?
I will do. So we got a 4, so they're going to remain passive and just watch the action.
Okay.
Right, so for my last activation, we've got the fighter that's involved in this combat here. What he's going to do is, how many agility? He's got an agility of 5. So his first action is going to be to try and throw your fighter.
Can you just move straight out of combat though, if you wanted
I
to?
could move straight out of combat if I
Okay.
wanted to, but I want to try and cause a bit of damage
Of
or
course,
get you
I
where you don't
understand
want to be. And then for his second action, he's going to move here,
Yep.
and then he's going to move here for 3.
Okay.
If I just make sure that's within his range. So he's got a vitality of 6, so he can move 6.
So why didn't he just go? Why didn't he just go around here?
Because he has to move in a straight line. Each movement action has to be in a straight line.
Okay.
Also, you'll notice, unlike the first version, the damage taken by fighters in the core basic rules doesn't affect their movement, but there will be advanced rules for taking injuries and damage. Okay, so this has got an agility of 5.
Okay.
So let's see if he can pass any of these actions. Oh, he's only passed 1.
Okay. Which could be argued would be the important one.
Yep,
which is some damage.
Potentially the important one.
Okay.
But because he's failed 2 of his 3 actions, he's going to gain 2 stress.
Ouch.
So next turn, he's only going to be rolling 3 agility dice. Okay, so my attack, I'm going to try and throw you
Okay.
rather than just do a normal attack. So I've got an attack of 6. And I've scored 3 successes.
Okay, and this is Rufus. Rufus has got defense of 3. So hopefully he'll save all these. Come on, Rufus. He saved 2. Okay.
Save 2. So I'm going to throw you 1 inch.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hoping to be able to throw you into that mob and force a reaction from them. But unfortunately I can't throw you far enough.
Okay.
So that's everybody activated, and that's the end of turn 2.
Okay. Is there a housekeeping phase?
The housekeeping phase consists of removing all the tokens from your character sheet, activated mob tokens, and popping them all back in the drawer, ready for the next turn to begin.